Welcome to the Set Apart Podcast. My name is Oscar. I'm the host of the show, and this is episode 37, but it's the third episode of Meet the Machine. And today you're going to know about what makes John Bell Construction's masonry division the best in the city and what sets them apart. Ivan, where are you from? Tell us a little bit about you.
So I'm from Nicaragua. He estado aquí, vine más o menos de la edad de como 6 años, 6, 7 años. Estudié acá el high school y traté de hacer lo que siempre todo padre hace, que el hijo haga, que estudie y termines por lo menos su high school. Por lo menos, como decía a veces mi abuela, por lo menos un trabajo en el McDonald's.
¿Y cómo tú empezaste en lo que es la construcción?
Por mi papá. Mi papá trabajaba en la construcción. Empezó de ayudante y después se hizo dueño de compañía. Y cuando ya yo tuve la edad, pues me empezó a llevar a trabajar.
Wow. What do you think about Ivan, Jess?
I'll tell you, bro. Excuse me. Ivan never ceases to amaze me because Ivan is of, obviously older generation. No negative connotation to that. But Ivan is ahead of the curve of even younger generations. Ivan not only is a field guy and he knows construction, boots on the ground better than a lot of people that I know. But he also knows more. He probably knows more technology than I do. He knows new gadgets. You give him a software on where to estimate or project manage, he knows it immediately. He knows how to move around a computer. He's technical. Ivan is a very impressive individual.
How many years has it been already, Ivan, that you've been with us?
6 años.
Wow, 6 years. José Luis, ¿qué tú crees que tú... O primero, introdúcese y explícame cómo tú crees que tú has mejorado como persona y como trabajador teniendo a alguien como Ivan.
Bueno, antes que nada, mi nombre es José Luis Caballero y yo soy Project Manager del Masonry Side de la compañía de John Bell Construction. Y trabajar junto a Ivan, Ivan y yo trabajamos juntos, literalmente todos los días del mundo. Y Iván, por lo menos a mí me ha demostrado que es súper completo en todo lo que hace. Porque no hay nada que yo le haya pedido a Iván jamás, nunca, que él no lo haya hecho de manera rápida, eficiente, e incluso si hay algo que no sabe o es nuevo para él y se le ha enseñado, ¿no? Él lo coge súper rápido, es lo que decía Jazz. En la tecnología es smart,
Yeah.
tú sabes, y aparte con la experiencia que tiene él en la construcción, tú sabes, yo lo veo desde el punto de vista que es un asset en esta compañía. Tú sabes, es un activo bien fuerte para esta compañía, porque es muy completo, puede hacer muchas cosas.
Well, I agree. I think that honestly, what both of you do with our masonry division. So a lot of people see John Bell Construction as a company that are general contractors. But what a lot of people don't know is that we have a masonry side of our business. And the masonry side of our business is a very profitable side of our business, and it's a side of our business that we're very proud of. Not only of the jobs that we've done, but the people that we have running the division. And honestly, somebody that has completely spearheaded it and has taken it under a wing and has allowed it to grow significantly is my business partner, Albert. You know, he's somebody that, 8, 9 years ago, he was an accountant doing international tax, not knowing anything about construction, and here he is less than a decade later, running and really pushing what it is, our masonry side. So talk to us about masonry and John Bell, how we started. I think that the start is very important in our story.
So the start is the most important part. When we started masonry, I didn't know anything about masonry, and I honestly didn't want to. I was afraid to take it on because it's the first high-rise project that we had done, and honestly, it was Chinese to me. It was. I had no idea what we were getting ourselves into. There was a lot of risk involved.
Hold on, real quick. So just so people understand, when we mean masonry, we mean like the brick, like the like the cylinder brick that people say.
Cinder block.
Cinder block. We install those. We put concrete in them. We put rebar in them. But the process starts years before anybody even lays the first brick. So you see, Miami, there's a lot of brick and there's a lot of masonry. But what we do are major jobs, high rises. The biggest jobs in Miami are the ones that we do, and that's why Faz was saying that it's
so the way that I
I
explain it to people is you have the concrete portion of the job in which the concrete portion starts getting built, and then we pretty much come in and we infill the buildings and we enclose it with block, CMU. When we first started, in the GC side, our jobs are, 1 to 5 story buildings. But on the masonry side, the smallest job that we've done is maybe 12 stories. So when we first started, we did a 12-story building. It was actually a parking garage. We had never laid a block. We didn't have a mason on staff. We were not fit to do a masonry project. And then Oscar.
But how do we get that job if we were unfit?
So Oscar, who had been working with Suffolk for some time, you had a couple contacts, and they called us and they pretty much said, hey, if you guys are looking for work, you should start doing masonry. There's a big need for masonry. And we started bidding a job, and we pretty much started just counting block and counting rebar, counting grout. Rebar and grout being what goes in the block after we set it.
But what I don't understand is, how do you say that there's not a lot of masonry if I feel like every single house that go, like in Miami or anything around here, you see like people laying block all the time?
Yeah, because our division doesn't do residential projects. Our division only does major high-rise projects. In order for it to be financially profitable, a financially profitable business, when you're only doing masonry, it needs to be at a high-rise level. It needs to be in volume. It needs to be in bulk. So, like right now, the smallest job that we're estimating, I think, has 175,000 block. You want to compare that to a house? A house has between 3,500 to 7,500 block, depending obviously on the size of the house. But so you can imagine the scale.
Yeah, it's like 30 times a house.
Correct. So our buildings, we've done buildings up to, how big, Ivan? 62 stories, I think, was the tallest one we've done. 62.
Yeah.
Talk to me about
62.
was that the highest masonry project that you've done? Because you've been in masonry for how long? Have you been in masonry?
Well, actually, I started working since I was 13 years old. So.
Sheesh, I don't want to add those numbers, but how many years is that?
I'm 55 right now.
Wow, so 32 years.
And that was only block?
Yeah.
Even
Started
from the beginning?
as a mason. Because
You
of my
started as a
father.
mason?
Yeah, because of my father. So I didn't went right into the labor. I did a little bit of labor for about 2 or 3 days, and he said, "No, you gotta start laying block because you're my son, so I want you to start laying block."
Ivan, do you remember the day that we met?
I do.
Tell us a story about how we met.
We met in a house that you were working on it.
Uh-huh.
And
Well, actually, I actually lived there. That was my house. I lived in the house. I told you that we were renovating the house because I didn't trust you for you to know that I lived there, because I had just met you. Did you know that?
no, I did not.
And Ivan literally showed up to my driveway because me and Foss had started this masonry side.
No, we hadn't started the masonry side. We had bid and we had estimated a masonry job that was 12 stories, Miami World Center, Block D, a big garage.
80,000 block.
80,000 block, the smallest job we've ever done. Our first job was the smallest job we've ever done. And we were awarded the project, and now we were trying to figure out, okay, now we got this job. How are we going to do this? Now let's start putting a team together to get the job done.
I think what is the coolest thing for me is that what the division that we've created is bigger than other people's companies that specialize in masonry.
Right.
Yeah, but let's talk about when Ivan showed up at your house.
All right, so
I want them
so
to.
they
I want
award the
them
job.
to
So they
hear
award the
about
job over a million circumstances. One of us was, one of the things was I think we even had to put our house, right? It was a personal guarantee on
Yeah,
our
the
houses
personal
Divide the
guarantee.
contract into.
and divide like the contract. And
Into
they really
two parts. We had to divide the contract in two parts for bonding purposes.
so we not only were we probably not adequate to do that project because we had never done a masonry project before, which we hadn't told them that, and the other one is that financially I don't know if we were almost fit or ready. We were, because obviously we succeeded through it, but it was a strain that I don't think that me nor you kind of anticipated.
Yeah, it was a big strain. That first project was where.
And we're gonna talk about
That first-
Ivan in my front door, by the way, later.
Yeah, that first project was where I genuinely learned about cash flow and about what it is to fund a project and wait 45 to 60 days to actually be funded to be paid. And we can get more into detail about that, but
It's hard as a
challenge.
as a subcontractor. You are expected to front a lot of the material. You're expected to front a lot of the labor. So I would say that one of the reasons that there's not a lot of, because somebody goes to install block at a house, I promise you by the time that those guys are not done, that guy is getting cash, he's getting like a Zelle, and those guys are all leaving with their money. Those guys sometimes can't even last a day
Yeah.
without payroll. And I think one of the difficulties as a subcontractor in masonry is having to hold, being able to buy, spend $300,000-$400,000, $1 million, $2 million, and then it get be reimbursed.
Yeah, so up to that point, we were the general contractor. We were not a sub. And the sub needs to wait longer to get paid. So up to that point, we were doing all work for our private clients who were funding us ahead of the project being done. We were requesting deposits, we were getting paid ahead, and we were never having to float and cash flow the job. It was the first time that we were ever a sub, and we had prepared an estimate, and we knew that we had estimated and budgeted the job correctly. We just didn't know how long it would take us to get paid when we actually build on the project. So
All
we
right,
were,
so rewind 6 years now? 7? Ivan's in my driveway.
yeah, now we have the job. We have our first job. And now we're trying to build a team. And
No, and they want us to start. They
They
want
want-
us to start.
yeah,
They
they
want
want-
us to start mobilizing.
Yeah,
to
they
start
want
starting
us to-
block.
they
Like, where
want
are your
us to
guys
start.
at?
They
Literally,
want us
they
to
were
start.
putting so much pressure, and we didn't have a single employee. So I started calling around. I said, "Hey, I will give you $2,500 if you can help me find a superintendent." And I started calling people, and I called so many people that you end up calling me, and that person never got the $2,500. So
You didn't even know.
I don't know.
You don't
And
remember
he
who it
he
was.
didn't remember either.
Yeah.
He got it from somebody from a company, like a small company out in Homestead. So long story short, he shows up to my doorstep, and I said, "Hey, I want you guys to understand this, and I'm gonna see if we can put some pictures up there. It's me, Foz, Jazz. Like, we're literally out there like carrying the block. We're out there like marking the walls. Like, we were out there like working. And obviously, we can't run a business like that." So when Ivan shows up to my stuff, he was the first person I really spoke to. I go, "Hey, how long you been doing masonry?" "Oh, I've been doing masonry for a long time." "Okay. Why do you want to leave?" "No, because of this." "Okay. How good are you?" "Oh, you don't have to worry about the job." "Okay. How much do you want?" "Okay. Can you start on Monday?"
I remember.
And it was the quickest interview.
It was quick.
It was quick. It was probably like 5 minutes because it was really holding us down. It was like really an impediment as to our growth. Like, it's not good for us to have been there.
It's a
And we weren't doing. We would never have done the job that Ivan did. I remember, not to interrupt you, dude. He walked and he says, and I was showing him where like all the cavity caps were. I was showing him how I had everything organized, and he was already like complaining about how I had done a bunch of stuff wrong. And I'm like, he's like, "Oh, you can go now." I'm like,
Yeah.
and bro, when you said that to me, honestly, that was probably one of the best days because I knew that we were gonna be at least okay, And
That was April 2018.
crazy.
That was April 2018.
that was a real example of straight blind, in a way, risk, where we knew that there was budget to do the work, but we didn't know how the work was gonna get done. Plain and simple. It was literally blind risk. And I agree, Ivan, you came in and you completely alleviated. Like, we were literally bringing in block by hand, like with our GC side, and you came in and you completely,
So
really helped.
let's talk about the GC side, because the GC side is essentially what we're known for in a grand capacity, and other people obviously know us as Masons, but we don't market we don't market a lot of Mason. We don't do it honestly. The main reason we don't say it because we don't want to confuse people and for people to think that John Bell Construction, the general contractor, is building that high rise. That's the only reason we really don't do it. And we're gonna start like doing more media on what we actually do when the jobs start, and Ron and Taylor are gonna be a part of it. But we want people to always understand that we're not building the entire structure holistically as a general contractor. We're building it as a subcontractor and only doing a portion of it. And because I never want to pretend like we're something that we're not. And like in Miami and anywhere in the world, like perception is reality. But we're also extremely proud of the jobs that we've done. What do you think, Jose Luis, has been like a job that you're really proud of the product and the way that we did it? Can you talk to us a little bit about that, how important those projects are to you?
Bueno, ahora mismo, desde que yo soy parte del Masonry side de la compañía, hemos terminado ya.
Porque tú nunca has sido parte de Masonry side.
Yo antes pertenecía al pre-construction.
So
side
Jose
de la
Luis has been
compañía.
with us. How long have you been with us now?
4 years.
4 years.
4 years. So Jose Luis has been with us 4 years, and he started here as a construction estimator on the GC side, and he was estimating for, what do you think, maybe a year, no, or so,
Year and a half,
year and a
almost
half.
two.
Something like that.
Yeah, but under the GC side.
So he was
Yeah,
he was
GC side.
estimating for about a year and a half, and honestly, it's like, I give you the perfect example. It's like if you would have put, I don't know, Jack, my son, to, I don't know, play baseball with the Marlins, or, for Isabella to do something that maybe I do, Isabella maybe run the company. Not everybody can perform things that they want to at the end of the day. Everybody has like a skill. Everybody has an expertise. Like everybody has like what they're good at. Like I shouldn't be a lawyer. I shouldn't be an accountant. I should be in construction.
Remember, Jose also came to us from a shell subcontractor.
That's true.
So before Jose was working with us, he was working with a shell contractor, and as being part of the masonry, we are working the shell of the building. So quickly, from estimating, I was like, hey, we have a big need on the.
Oh, I really.
Have a big need on the masonry side.
Yes, but it wasn't that. We had a project called the Westchester Wellness Center. That's how it happened.
Yeah, that's how it ended up.
So what
That's how
happened
it
with the
developed.
Westchester Wellness Center? That's a project that we did as a general contractor. And I'll be honest with you, it's that project that you are still here today, because
100%.
that was a job that was bid in COVID, and we got it before COVID, and the job happened through COVID and even almost past COVID. And what happened with COVID is that prices went through the roof. A 2x4 that used to cost $2-3 now because $20. A piece of plywood was $17-18. It went for like $130. The materials were completely unaffordable, and we just with the materials, because labor then later caught up with inflation. But at the beginning, it was pure material. And when we estimated the job as a GC, which I think he even helped estimate, no?
He estimated that job.
He estimated the job. We couldn't afford to finish the job and for the job to be profitable. So we decided to self-perform the whole shell, not only masonry but also concrete. And we started self-performing it. And the reality is that we couldn't do it. We weren't able to do it, and we realized that as we could do it, because we did it. But we were better fitted for as a GC. But one of the things that was amazing is that in the transition between the superintendent that we had there, we fired him, but you immediately left your estimating position. You put on your vest and your hard hat, and you were the first one there. Remember, like reading the plans and marking everything and putting everything super organized and really helping us do that job. That was their biggest government job at that time. It was a job that it was bonded. It had a personal guarantee on our life. It was a very difficult part of our life, and not only were we going through COVID and material prices, like just COVID itself, that was a very troubling, trying time in our company. That
We were home. Everybody was home, and everybody was quarantined, and that job was still going.
So something very important, okay? You guys, both of you literally So Ivan, first, okay, you start as a mason, okay, so you're actually doing physical labor. Then you're a superintendent, okay. You become a superintendent for us, and you do a great job as a superintendent. One of the jobs end, we need you to estimate. You come in, you know how to adapt to technology, and you become an estimator. You've literally taken on 3 roles as an individual that some people never perfect a single one of those 3 roles, okay? Then you have Jose Luis. You start off working for a shell contractor, okay? You come to John Bell, you start off as an estimator on the GC side, estimating work that you've never done before, okay? So you start off as an estimator. You then transition to being a superintendent on the structure GC side. Then you adapt and you leave being a super on the GC side and you go into masonry as a project manager. While being a project manager on the masonry side, you also adapt, and there have been times where I've asked you to be a superintendent on the masonry side. So you've literally adapted and taken part in 4 roles, okay?
I have an order conquered for me today for the GC side.
So our ability to run a tight ship, our ability to be extremely efficient is strictly because of the fact that both of you can adapt and take on multiple roles. If I needed an estimator, or if we needed an estimator, a project manager, and a superintendent full time, we wouldn't be able to run the ship that we're running right now and being so efficient during times where, obviously, after COVID, like Oscar just said, prices and things were changing. And that's the reason why you guys are here, and you guys are the reason why we are successful on the masonry side. All I do is write down my list, and I constantly just remind you guys, or kind of just, hey, where are we at? But you guys are the ones that have been able to adapt and allowed us to go through the ups and downs of the masonry side, because the market, on the masonry side hasn't been the most stable market. I want to know, first of all, if you're capable of doing all 3 roles, right? And you're capable of doing estimating, being a project manager, and a superintendent, right? Number 1, what role do you like the most, and why?
Well, I'm going to start first. I like the superintendent job because of being up there, new challenge.
Being up there where?
On the job site. Every time there's something new that you don't know, you learn. Tú nunca terminas de aprender. You always learning, always. Para mí.
So you like being a super?
Yeah, the problem is that being out there on the field, there's a lot of challenges. Every day there's a problem.
On every corner.
Every day there's a problem.
Okay, but hold on. Now that we're talking about that, before you keep
hold
going.
on, Jose.
It's important.
Okay. Sorry, Jose. What's your favorite out of the 3?
Antes que nada, ¿verdad?
You're way next, papi.
Los 3 me gustan. ¿Por qué? Te voy a decir que los 3 me gustan y después te voy a decir cuál me gusta más. Los 3 me gustan porque, de una manera u otra, cada uno de esos roles hacen parte de lo que yo soy hoy como project manager. Porque muchas veces, o en general, los project managers tienen que tener cierta experiencia en cada una de las cosas que complementan, es decir, el trabajo que uno hace, ¿verdad?
I agree.
Ya yo he sido superintendent anteriormente, eso me gusta, pero no te voy a negar que me gusta más el rol ya de project manager y estimador, que esos dos yo pienso que van muy de la mano, porque como project manager yo también tengo que muchas veces hacer ciertas estimaciones, y bueno, en este caso yo soy también estimador de aquí de la compañía. Entonces, esos dos me gustan un poco más que ser superintendent. Pero eso no quiere decir que ser superintendent no me gusta. Me gusta mucho también. Lo que son dos como direcciones que van no en direcciones opuestas, pero
sí,
van
muy diferentes.
Que son un poco diferentes.
No, real quick, and I'm going to get to that point. You, Jose Luis, like Ivan, and maybe it's one of the reasons why you guys work so hand in hand and work so well together. You're also very technical when it comes to technology, software, adapting to new technology. Spreadsheets, the spreadsheets that you've put together, the takeoffs that you've done, you as well, the way you guys analyze drawings. Has that made you better at your craft? Like, how important is your ability to adapt to technology in your role? How important has that been? Because in the field, let's be honest, as long as you're pushing the scope, you're pushing the crew, and the work is getting done and it's getting done with quality, you're not really behind a screen, but you guys both adapt to the screen and get the technology side under control. How is that?
People don't realize the amount of screen time it takes to run a construction project.
That's impressive.
It takes more
man.
screen
That's
time
impressive, man.
sometimes than like field time. But
These two are impressive.
La verdad es que yo me he adaptado más por gracias a él, que me ha ayudado bastante en lo que es en lo técnico, en los programas y eso.
Yeah.
Él es el que me ha ayudado más.
honestly, you three, because I say, because Foz,
Yeah.
what you,
It's a whole
what-
evolution to
what
what
you
it's
guys have done and made our masonry side so much better. Like, I really feel that at the beginning, I don't know if I was as proud as I am really on what we are now. I think that our masonry side and the way we can run our jobs as a mason, I would say we're the best in South Florida when it is to masonry. The biggest thing is that we are GCs. And I really love masonry, but I love being a GC. How does it feel working for a company where maybe it's not all the time the priority is on what you guys are paid to do? Jose Luis.
Imagínate, yo por ejemplo, yo estudié ingeniería civil, right? Pasé 5 años estudiando lo que es la construcción en sí y específicamente el shell, que es lo que yo estudié en sí. Masonry es como una parte del shell. Que entra dentro de ese mundo, ¿verdad? Pero no es lo que prima dentro de eso. So, inicialmente, estando más en la parte del shell, era como el prime, vamos a llamarle, o lo ideal que a uno le gustaría. Pero a medida que pasa el tiempo y uno va evolucionando, uno también ve que hay, como mismo tú, ¿verdad? A ti lo que te gusta es, o lo que más te gusta es la parte del GC. No quiere decir que no te guste lo otro. Exactamente yo. Pero con el tiempo...
Yo creo que tú me preguntas después por qué. Pero sigue en lo tuyo.
That's a good question.
Pero con el tiempo, uno aprende también a querer otras cosas dentro del mismo mundo de la construcción que son bien bonitas. En este caso, como el masonry side. Entonces, yo no lo veo como que por no hacer lo que más me gusta, me siento mal o no sé cómo explicarlo. Es decir, me gusta mucho también, tú sabes, porque uno también va evolucionando con el tiempo. Y como mismo te digo, el masonry pudiera a lo mejor estar de nuevo en el GC side contigo, especializado en algo más...
Sí,
por ejemplo, haciendo drywall, haciendo tile, poniendo... A lo mejor con el de plumbing, tú sabes,
Sí,
porque
sí.
a lo mejor
Do
no
you
tiene...
feel...
Pero para estar claro, para estar
Ask him that
claro.
question.
Nosotros somos una compañía somos general contractor, ¿ok? Nosotros somos general contractor. El masonry es como una parte de la compañía. No es lo que hacemos primariamente, ¿ok?
Correcto.
Ok. ¿Cómo tú te sientes que lo que es la compañía de John Bell, la gente sabe en John Bell como un GC? El masonry es como una parte de lo que es John Bell, ¿no? ¿Cómo tú te sientes en el caso que tú trabajas para una compañía en que las conversaciones que tenemos todos los días, la mayoría de lo que estamos atacando es en el GC side? Nosotros somos como parte de la compañía. ¿Cómo tú te sientes eso? ¿Tú te sientes que somos importantes como los demás de la compañía? ¿O tú te sientes como somos like a side like aside of the business,
Dime.
¿cómo tú te sientes de eso?
A ver,
Porque yo sé que hay sentido tú sabes que nosotros hemos hablado, nosotros hemos hablado de eso.
I think you got it this time. Hit it. You fucking nailed that thing on the head.
no, a ver.
I'm not asking this fucking question again.
Yo no te voy a decir, es decir, está claro que
Okay, ¿cómo tú te
tú
sientes?
no,
Do
yo,
you
a ver, yo no
feel-
tengo ningún, yo no me
but do
siento
you feel
excluded.
do you feel less in any way?
De ninguna manera.
Maybe
Yeah,
you like it. Maybe you like it. Maybe
No,
you like
no,
that
no.
we're our own little team.
No,
It's an
nosotros,
animal,
a
bro.
ver, de la manera de trabajar,
beast.
está claro que trabajamos de una manera diferente a como trabaja el GC Side, porque somos un crew más pequeño. Incluso hacemos meetings totalmente separados en la parte técnica como tal. Yo no tengo que estar en la parte técnica de GC, ni ustedes están tan envueltos en la parte del Masonry, porque estamos Albert, Ivan, yo, y todo lo que estamos en el Masonry Side. Pero eso no me hace sentir excluido para nada como parte de la compañía, porque en general todas las cosas que se hacen en la compañía siempre está Ivan, estoy yo, y bueno, claro, Albert está siempre en todo, porque Albert tiene que estar, pero sí.
¿Y cómo tú te sientes de lo que nosotros hacemos como general contractors?
A ver, yo, para decirte la verdad, yo me siento súper orgulloso de lo que yo veo de John Bell, del GC Side específicamente, a pesar de que yo sé que no estoy involucrado en eso, me siento también parte de eso, tú sabes, y me siento súper bien, porque veo también cómo la
Tú lo miras como
compañía-
tú lo miras como de lejos, no de lejos, pero lo ves como no ves tanto maybe el sacrificio porque no está en las obras.
No estoy
Por
en
el
las
detalle.
obras, pero yo no soy ciego y no soy sordo. Yo estoy rodeado de todos ustedes todos los días del mundo. Independientemente que yo esté enfocado en mi trabajo,
Yeah, I think that's
yo tengo
cool.
idea de
I
lo
think
que
that's
está
a really-
pasando around
I
me.
think that's a really, it's a really cool thing that we have as a company because obviously we're general contractors and we have a masonry side, but at the end of the day, we're like a family. Like I wish that we can like even see people behind this camera. We have people here that can be at home with their family. They can be working out. They can be doing so many different things, and they decide to stay here. And the reality is that we just want, and especially me and Albert and Jazz, but especially me, the main reason that we have the masonry side is because there's not a lot of masons. There's only like maybe how many like really really good masons that are competitors of ours are in our industry, like maybe
And it's like two companies, two big companies.
2 or 3.
Who are they, Ivan?
No, don't say the names. No, don't say the names.
Okay. Don't say that. Don't say that.
So
What I want to add on that note is this has always been a
Yeah.
company
Big,
built
our
on
competitors, there's like 2 competitors.
this has always been a company built on faith, and the fact that masonry came knocking isn't a coincidence. And you can talk about this, that's why I want to put it on you. I believe you managed the masonry scope when you were at Suffolk before
that's
John
right.
Bell, right? So that's part of the reason why, like, you knew the scope.
yeah.
It's important to, obviously.
That's right. I
It
thought-
wasn't like a blind, complete, like, let's go into waterproofing. It was like,
So when I started as an intern, sometimes I completely forget about that. Thank God one of us 3 has good memory.
some kind of memory.
So I started as an intern, and when I started as an intern, one of the first things that ever happened within first couple of days, my boss, Armando, he told me, "Hey, I needed to meet with the mason." I had no idea. I couldn't read drawings.
Right.
I didn't know. I could not understand what the drawings were saying. And here I am, like pretending with Joe. His name was Joe. And Joe taught me everything that I know about masonry. Joe taught it to me. And I told him, I go, dude, I know it's going to sound kind of crazy. I have no idea what I'm reading right now. I'm an intern here. And bro, do you think you can kind of like teach me? And my main responsibility, other than helping whatever I can, was that my boss gave me the mason. So anything inside the masonry, sometimes you have a window, sometimes you have a louver, sometimes you have doors, you have stucco. There's a lot of things that get like signs. There's a lot of things that get attached to masonry. And he said, I want you to just follow him. And I was in charge of the mason. And he almost fired me because of that. Because I kept missing doors, I kept missing louvers, I was doing it at the wrong height. and he told me if you can't do your job, I'm gonna do your job. And bro, when I heard that, he never had to tell me that again. And I kept missing them. We kept having to call Speedy and cut the openings. So, anyways, I learned a lot. And masonry is something, honestly, is very the act of installing block is very simple. You put one on top of the other, and you fill it with concrete every so often.
And then 4 or 5 years later,
And then
5, 6 years later, you get a call. You get a call.
So I used to work at Suffolk with somebody that Suffolk with somebody that went to another company, and that person, which honestly we owe so much to him because he's the one that really like kind of pushed us against the corner and said, "Hey, I need you. Are you guys Masons?" And we told him, "No, we're not Masons. We're GCs." He says, "Well, become a Mason."
We're doing driveways.
Yeah, we're doing driveways.
We're doing remodels. What do you mean? What do you mean masonry in a high rise?
And I'll be honest with you,
that's
other than
interesting,
starting the GC side and resigning, that leap was a massive leap that the company did.
I agree.
It was something that we were never Masons. We never had done anything. We had no employees. We had no idea what we're doing. But I don't know. Like I was talking to Will today. Like we just love to hustle.
I can genuinely say I can genuinely say that's 100% on you.
100%, yeah.
That's 100%. I owe that to you. That's 100% on you, bro. If it would have been for me, I'm not the type of person that takes unknown risk. Bro, I honestly went into it blindly because I had faith that you somewhat knew what we were getting into. Slowly did we realize it was bigger than what we both thought. But I genuinely went into it blindly 100% because of you, because you're more of the risk taker and you said, hey, let's do this. And we said, let's go. And we got through it, but 150% all at your lead because you said, let's do it. And you moved forward with it 100%.
Do you think that masonry is a trade that you can manage like a GC? Can you manage and run a masonry job like a GC would?
What do you mean?
I think that one of the reasons that we really are very, very special in what we do is that Ivan and Jose Luis are embedded with people on the GC side, and they hear project managers and superintendents, where's this, where's that, where's this, and constantly pushing. And I think that they have become much better in masonry because of their ability to understand more of what the GC does, because the GC has 100 different scopes, from an electrician, a plumber, millwork, roofer, stucco, masonry, shell, civil, drywall. Like there are so many things that a general contractor has to do that our number one job as a mason on those jobs is what? What do you think it is, Ivan?
The shell and the mason.
Yeah, but it's also
Outside of the building.
Yeah, the answer I was looking for was our job is to make the life of the GC easier. And I feel that in a lot of you don't feel that you make the life of a GC a lot easier?
Talk about that.
Yeah, I think so.
How?
Do you try to? Do you try to make the GC's life easier in what you do? Or what's your ultimate goal?
No entiendo la pregunta, la verdad.
When you're working as a super on the masonry side, what's your ultimate goal?
Well, then make the life more easier for the GC. Para que no haya ningún problema. There's no problem at all. Para ningún lado. So.
Acuérdate que nosotros también llevamos un proceso desde el principio donde estamos constantemente revisando el trade de nosotros y casi que compatibilizándolo con otros trades. Por eso es que muchas veces cuando llegamos a un piso ya sabemos si va a haber un problema, si no va a haber un problema, qué está pasando en el piso. Y claramente el GC en este caso se beneficia de eso porque simplemente nosotros le decimos, hey, mira, aquí va a pasar algo.
Yeah.
Es decir, le estamos haciendo literalmente la vida más fácil a ellos con un tiempo de antelación, lo que les permite, es decir, atacar el problema antes de ni siquiera llegar ahí, tú sabes. Y
I think as a Mason, and I don't think you guys realize this. I think Jose realizes a little bit more. Ivan is very about getting the job done. But I don't think you realize that our proactiveness really helps the job. I don't think you have any idea. Like the emails that we're sending, pushing the buck hoist I don't think you realize how much that helps the job. I don't think if we were pushing the buck hoist that much, I don't think that at Ocon it would be getting installed right now. I think that one of the reasons why they're pushing it so hard is because we have been hounding them that we need it, or it's going to delay the schedule. So I think that's where Oscar's coming from. Like, what do we do? What do you think that we do that really helps the GC? For example, your layout. How many times do you do layout and you write an RFI or we send an email saying, hey, there's dimensions that are off? Or how many times do we do layout and we say, hey guys, your elevator shaft is moving. Your layout, there's something wrong with your layout. And we help and we bring support to the GC so that the building gets done in the correct manner. I don't think you guys realize that. However, for Ivan, like, we gotta talk about Ivan a little bit, okay? Ivan is like a true Mason. Like, Ivan's the guy that would pick up the block and set the block. You're not a Mason. No, Ivan's the only Mason here at this table, okay? I want to know.
Yo, I did install block, and I do want us to put that picture.
You have installed block, right?
I'm gonna put that picture.
Put that picture up.
This is real.
Put that picture up.
Put that picture up. That's me installing a block right there. But go ahead. That was 10 minutes.
Look, I have laid like 12 blocks in my life.
I've never
That's
laid
good.
one block. Okay, I hope that Ivan one day teaches me to lay at least.
He should teach
You could do it. We could put up a
20
fence.
blocks.
We'll put up a fence one day.
A side wall, maybe something. You know.
Yeah.
But for Ivan, think about Ivan. Literally is a born Mason who has become, in my opinion, a general super, because he's a leader who managed all our jobs. He's a guy who got here, who only spoke Spanish, speaks more English than my dad. You can use technology. You're great with your phone. My dad can barely send a text message. Like, honestly, like, Ron, there's no shame in that. I love my dad. My dad means the world to me. But there's a lot to say about that. You should be very proud of
respectful.
that. And that's what Jazz keeps referring to. Like, literally, my dad cannot send an email. You're literally doing takeoffs, doing payroll reports, like, and at the same time, you're telling the shell guy, hey, you're doing that wrong. You're doing that wrong.
Yeah.
You're doing layout. You're ordering material. You're like, it's crazy. Like, I think that's incredible.
Well, listen, at the end of the day, this series is Meet the Machine. And the reason we want to even do this series is because you have no idea what people here do. I sometimes have a hard time understanding what we do, because we do it honestly at such a high level, and we do it with so much passion that I think it goes extremely undervalued. It goes extremely overlooked. And that's why I think it was the first episode of this series, I even said, even the only way that is physically possible for someone to really capture what this company takes and what it really takes to run John Bell Construction and really meet the machine, we would need a videographer for every single one of these people from seconds before they wake up to seconds after they go to bed, and even sometimes through the night, because a lot of the superintendents in the episode prior talk about how sometimes they can't even sleep because of how much this job. And we just hope in the last few minutes of this episode that you can realize that not only does John Bell Construction have a GC side, but we also have a masonry side. But what we have is just a group of people that really, really care about the projects that we're hired to do. And I kind of want to talk a little bit about exactly what you do as a project manager in a masonry company. Can you talk about all the different things? Maybe talk to me like what you did, today or last couple of days.
Okay.
Because you're somebody that doesn't lay up. He doesn't look like a mason. He doesn't look like a block mason. You look like
He's more like a Calvin Klein.
You look like a Calvin Klein model slash. You look you look like you kind of look like an accountant slash like doctor.
Yeah. Nurse.
I like numbers.
So talk to us about.
I like surgery.
What do you do that's only installed 20 brick in your entire life? What do you bring and contribute to the masonry side?
And wait, before you say that, Jose developed our entire estimating spreadsheet, and you have completely developed our estimating on the masonry side 150%. But tell them what you did today Tell them what you did.
Hold
today.
on, but listen. Before Jose Luis and Ivan were here, we were paying estimators from India.
Yeah, we were outsourcing
Yeah, to
the
count,
block counts.
essentially to
We're-
count the block.
Yeah, they were counting block. But
Dog,
what
he was
Jose,
Indian. He
what
told
Jose
me.
does and what Jose has developed.
He wasn't.
He wasn't. He told me.
What Jose and Ivan have developed that I have a lot of pride in is from the estimating side, they're really diving into the projects, and when we land these projects, we know what's happening before that project starts. And I have a lot of pride in the fact that you guys have really, really, really developed
Yeah, we weren't like that
the
before.
pre-construction side of the masonry. I think it's incredible. But tell them what you did, what you've done, because I don't even know what you've done the last couple of weeks. But tell them what you've done. The last couple of weeks.
Bueno, hoy mismo estamos terminando, Ivan y yo.
Yo, you gonna have your rum and coke?
So you're gonna have it?
You gonna have it or not?
Yeah, I'm freeze, man.
You're cold?
Congelado.
Yo, Will, turn off the AC. This guy's cold. He can't even drink his rum and coke.
Or you're gonna share? You're gonna share it with us?
I'm shaking.
Share
Tienes
You're cold?
No, I'm not cold. I'm shaking.
Nah, I'm used to this. Right? Hey, just turn it on, bro.
No, bro. I know, bro.
These guys.
These guys are weak.
Tú estás con tremenda sed por lo que veo.
No, man.
You're not cold? Oh, the air's blowing on.
All right, so what do you
Bueno,
do?
mira, nosotros estamos ahora en el proceso de comenzar una nueva obra en el Masonry site que se llama Oak and Tower.
Ah.
Y entonces estamos haciendo toda la preparación del comienzo de nosotros, que va a ser el próximo mes, va a ser en enero. Entonces estamos haciendo todo el proceso de preparación, de dejar todo listo, de la coordinación.
Porque yo no creo que la gente saben que eso no es como hoy, hay que poner bloque mañana y llegamos una camioneta. Like, para
Hay
nosotros,
mucha logística realmente detrás de eso. Es un proceso que es relativamente largo. No es que tú levantes un teléfono, hey, mañana estamos ahí y ya estamos, tú sabes.
¿Y por qué no así?
Es desde el punto de vista de contratación, documentación, safety,
Aprobación de material.
materiales, submittals.
Y que estemos listos. Y que estamos listos para empezar.
And manpower.
Correcto. Y el
Manpower.
manpower. Equipment. Sí, todo lo que tiene que ver con la parte directa que va a trabajar ahí.
Del
Y la
nivel de
indirecta también,
material.
es todo. Entonces, tenemos que pasar todo un proceso para decir exactamente ya estamos aquí y poner el primer pie. Incluso hay cosas que se nos van de las manos a nosotros como compañía, que depende de otras personas que ya están trabajando ahí, en este caso de los GC, otros trades, que tienen que dejar cosas listas para que nosotros podamos comenzar. Entonces es todo un proceso que no es de 2 días. Realmente es un poco tedioso porque en el GC side exactamente igual, el doble o el triple. Pero en ese proceso estamos ahora mismo. Y es un poquitico cada día porque hay que hacer mucha gestión para realmente decir que ya estamos listos para comenzar.
Yeah, like to build a high rise, think about the amount of people, the amount of materials, the amount of coordination. I think people here in South Florida see these buildings, and we and a lot of other great GCs that do high rises, they make it look very, very easy, and it takes a significant amount of coordination. When I was at Suffolk, we were 600-700 men a day on that job site. Think about 700 people show up every day at 7 in the morning. Think about look,
How much happened before you even got to sea level?
Exactly. Yeah, that was another one.
That's another one.
The other day we were putting Christmas lights. We put Christmas lights. It was like 15 of us, right? It was almost, I felt like it was like almost 20 people putting Christmas lights.
Yeah.
That's the fastest Christmas lights.
I know.
That was the fastest Christmas lights that would take somebody by themselves maybe the whole weekend.
I was hoping that by Tuesday you guys still be putting Christmas lights so I could help you.
Yeah, I know. You missed that. You missed that.
Oh, you should have
And
been.
then by 6 p.m., the whole office was lit with more lights than my house.
Yeah, I know. We missed you. So, damn, you made me lose my train of thought. It's fucking Monday, bro. You should have gone and fucking work.
Wait, so what? 15 the amount of people
Oh.
it takes to build a building.
Okay, perfect. So think about what we were able to do with 20 people in an hour and a half putting Christmas lights. So it was felt like super fast. Think about 800 people, sometimes 1,000 people, takes 3 years. Mm-hmm. Think about the magnitude of how difficult it really is to build this building. So even something as specific as masonry, it's a massive portion of what these buildings really are. And remember, we're in South Florida, so the amount of winds and hurricanes that hit us, they have to be, all these buildings have to be hurricane rated. And they, you know, like you see a house that say CBS. Well, we are the CBS installers. That's what we do. So it's just, I hope that we can put pictures, we can kind of show what we actually do as Masons and how important it is, but also how it's kind of cool. You know, it's something, it's very different than the GC side, but it's very cool.
Can I ask you guys a question?
You can ask them whatever you want.
Where would you? I'm gonna ask Ivan first because he's the real Mason.
The real Mason.
He's the
And I'm
real.
not.
He's the real.
You're a real Mason in my eyes.
You're the all-around MVP, but Ivan's the real Mason. Okay. Where do you as the Mason working for a GC company, okay, as general contractors, where do you want our masonry division to be within the next 5 years?
Within the next 5 years, me gustaría, I would like for John Bell, not to have just masonry on the high rise, it's just the whole building itself.
Oh,
It's-
GC.
As a GC, and have the masonry inside the GC.
To self-perform.
He
Mason
working
with
with
Will.
Will.
GC job. Hell yeah, bro.
So we have the
That's- I
whole.
would
So we
love
have
that.
so people can understand.
and we've
wait,
spoken about that.
But so the audience can understand. Right now, our scope of work. Right now, our scope of work is between $5 to $20 million.
As a what?
As a
a
GC,
GC,
as a
okay.
GC, our scope of work is between $5 to $20 million.
Per job.
Per job. And on our masonry side, our scopes of work are between $3 to $6 million. So what you're saying is that
Per
you
job.
want John per job. So what you want is for John Bell to be doing a $500 million job and be self-performing
That's
the
right.
masonry,
The
and you're
masonry.
running the show.
That's
Just
right.
the masonry, or you're running the
no,
show.
Great.
the-
That'd be great.
That
But
makes
let's
it
be
okay.
honest.
You're running the whole thing.
John Bell doesn't have to be a $500 million job. It
Nah,
can be
you're
a
right, you're right. That's a good
40,
point. That's a good
50,
point.
$70 million job.
That's
a good point.
With, let's say,
That's a
exactly,
good point. That's a good point.
60, 70, 80,000
$1,000.
block.
That's a good point. Yeah,
80,000
10 story,
block,
10,
and Ivan
15
can
story.
self-perform. You guys can self-perform.
Where would? Well, how about you? How about you, Jose? How would you want? How do you? What would you like for our masonry division to be within the next 2 to 5 years? You know, because we went through a very difficult time where we were doing 5, 6 projects and we were literally drowning. How do you envision us within the next 2 to 5 years on the masonry side?
Well, first of all, do you consider yourself a Mason?
That's a great
Mason?
question. Do you consider? Because I just said the real Mason, and you said, "Oh, I'm not a Mason." Do you consider yourself a Mason? I want to know this. This is a very
Eso
important
depende
question.
de cómo tú clasifiques un
You know when people-
Mason.
I consider
Are you
myself-
a
I think
Mason?
he is.
Okay.
Are you a Mason?
If
I think
somebody
he
tells
is.
you, Jose, are you a Mason?
I think
Would
he
you
is.
say yes? I'm a Mason.
Be careful
A
saying
ver,
no.
yo-
Be careful saying
no,
no.
yo
Because
no
I'm
voy
gonna
a
ask you
decir
who you
que-
are.
Yo no voy a decir que no. Que
You know, people ask me, and I-
no,
I-
Everton.
You're not, Papo.
Yo
If
soy
God
un
forbid-
Mason, yo soy un Mason que no sé cómo poner block.
Hey, pero, hold on. But if God forbid stuff hit the fan
Will doesn't know how
tomorrow,
to. Will, nah, Will
And
actually
we
does a
were
lot, bro.
done.
I gotta be careful with Will.
you can lay block. If God forbid
No,
stuff
I
hit
don't
the
think
fan
so.
tomorrow,
No, you
okay.
put it upside
Yeah.
down.
Look, you got,
Yeah,
so?
and then the
If
wall
I
will
do
look,
it-
and then you better.
Hey,
you
you're
better
gonna
do
have
it.
to slow.
You're gonna
Hey,
have.
but he'll learn.
You're gonna
So,
stuck
I'm
one. You're
gonna
gonna
go
stuck
slow.
1 inch. You're gonna have an inch of stuck on that wall.
Probablemente el primer día te ponga 15
Okay.
bloques. Y no
Okay,
puede llegar a un
okay.
rendimiento. A un rendimiento
Hay
como
que
los
hacerlo.
bloqueros de
Hay que
nosotros que
hacerlo.
ponen un
Yeah,
montón
I
de
agree.
bloques
Ah.
diarios, pero eventualmente
Eventually,
puedo
you'll
hacerlo.
get there, yeah.
What the? What
¿Y
else
cómo,
would we do?
cómo vas a tener la espalda el segundo
No, la
día?
espalda la voy a tener como Will.
Encendida.
You can figure it out. I can figure it out. We can
Como
figure it
Will.
out.
Como, güey.
Okay, Jasmine is gonna need scaffold.
Okay.
Yeah,
sooner.
I
These
just-
guys is gonna need scaffold
I need
for the
a couple
sooner
levels of
than
scaffold.
Jose Luis.
I know how to put scaffold together.
Ahora te voy a responder la pregunta que me habías hecho.
En 2 a 5 años. ¿Cómo,
Ok,
cómo tú ves el Division de Masonry y cómo tú quieres ser parte de esa división? ¿Cómo te ves a ti mismo en esa parte de la división de Mason?
Ok, mira. Antes que nada, primero déjame ir un poquito atrás. ¿No es así? Yo he estado en esta compañía ya por 4 años, ¿verdad? Desde que yo comencé aquí hace 4 años a lo que somos hoy, la compañía ha tenido un crecimiento como compañía, como familia, que yo no pudiera decir ni siquiera que es una cosa lineal. No es así, mira, no es así. yo dijera que es exponencial. Es decir, cada día que pasa,
Sí, metimos un brinco grande ahí.
el crecimiento es mayor, mayor y mayor, ¿verdad? Y eso se debe al esfuerzo de cada uno aquí como individuo y como también como todos como compañía, ¿verdad? Nosotros podemos llegar en el Masonry side y en el GC side también, pero en el Masonry side podemos llegar, yo pienso, tan lejos como queramos. Y como está el mercado también. No solo depende de nosotros, pero si dependiera solo de nosotros, yo pienso que podemos llegar tan lejos como queramos, solo tenemos
As a
que...
GC, you say?
That's amazing.
You say it's amazing.
Y como
It's
GC
and
también.
GC too. It's
Y como
yeah,
GC,
and
pero
GC
ahora
as
me
well.
estoy refiriendo ya al Masonry side, ¿verdad?
No, I think we can be whatever we want.
Correcto. Es decir, si tú ves los datos históricos para atrás, de atrás a donde estamos hoy, te das cuenta que hemos crecido muchísimo. So, si seguimos la tendencia, es facilito decir, no, espérate, vamos
Explotar.
a llegar hasta donde queramos nosotros mismos. El límite yo creo
Sí,
que
vamos a
lo
llegar a un
vamos a
punto que
poner nosotros. Si en el Masonry side,
Uf.
específicamente, nosotros decidimos tener más personas. Claro, eso depende de la cantidad de trabajo también, ¿no es así?
Claro.
Pero si nosotros empezamos a coger más trabajo, claramente la compañía va a crecer más y el potencial está ahí. Y yo pienso que, como te dije, el límite nos lo ponemos nosotros mismos. Solo tenemos que seguir dando lo mejor de
Tú
nosotros.
quieres tener, and you, I mean, do you guys want to have 5, 6, 7 masonry jobs running where you're the
Or do you just
you're
want
the
a
you're
couple?
the you're the you know you're the
Are you ready to be a leader?
you're the super pretty much the super pretty much running all of them, and you're the project exec pretty much running all of them, or do you guys want to just have a healthy flow of work and do 2 or 3 really
No.
good masonry jobs?
I want to have 5, 6 or
Yeah.
lo que podamos, whatever we can
Alright, Be
get.
careful what you wish for.
Whatever we
No,
can
a ver,
get.
eso tú sabes, eso se sale un poco de las manos de Ivan y mía.
No, podemos tener
Pero-
ese trabajo.
pero-
si de verdad queremos, podemos tener
Pero,
esa cantidad
a
de
ver,
trabajo.
no, si eso es la visión, es ahí donde hay que ir
Listen,
y ya está. Es
the
lo que
problem-
queramos
the
nosotros.
problem that is
That's
not
what
the
young
problem is
goes
that
beyond.
that's the problem is that it's not our vision. If you know it, the reality is that we're a family here. You know, we spend so much time here. We do so much together that, and especially me, I cannot speak for anybody else other than me. The environment that we had before, and you were both of you were a part of that environment before. Even the environment we have now is not for everybody. This is a very stressful, very we do not fuck around type of environment. But before, it was different. I don't think it was like a healthy environment. And
That's
we
why I
went-
asked them the question.
and
That's
so
exactly
that's
why I
why.
asked them the question.
So that's why.
Right.
So it is up to kind of us. Yeah, I agree. But the reality is that, you know, like I even like my bio on my Instagram is I refuse to gain the world and lose my soul, and I refuse to gain all these masonry jobs and lose you. So that to us is more important because people ask me, do you feel more passionate about the GC than the masonry side? No, I feel more passionate about the GC side because I have a lot more control of how we can help people and how we can help the community as a GC than as a Mason. As a Mason, we're seen like as a number. We're just a part of that job. We feel we cannot really give any value to the owner, sometimes in any way. You know, we can only bring value to maybe the general contractor.
More indirectly.
Yes, more indirectly than directly, and but I still love being a Mason. And I'm gonna also say this: we make a lot more money being a Mason than we do GC. So if we make more money being a Mason rather than a general contractor, then let's do more masonry. But the reason Paul's asking you, we just want you guys to want it, because it doesn't mean anything to all of us if we have all the money in the world and we burn you guys out and you guys are unhappy and you hate us and you leave. Because to me, you guys not being here, I would have a really, really difficult time with you guys leaving. And that's why we say it. Because we're young. At the end of the day, we don't need to make $1 gazillion every year. Like, it'll be nice, but from somebody that's had a lot of money to no money, and money really doesn't bring anything other than like things. And trust me, it doesn't bring happiness. So that's why we tell you, we want you to always know that it doesn't have to be now in this podcast, but that you guys realize that you do have a voice. You guys are incredible pillars in what we are as Masons, what we are as subcontractors in this industry, and we want always, not always, I would say recently, especially for me, that you guys buy into that, because the culture here is to me is very important. How do you feel about the culture we have here as a team at John Bell?
I love it, and I wouldn't change anything. The way we are right now, nada cambiaría.
That's another
I
thing.
love it.
Ivan not only is a mason who's extremely technical, adapts to technology, is new to this generation, but he's also of the old generation. He can come into a new culture and mesh
Hey, we have new
with everybody,
employees.
with Generation X, Generation Z, Generation Y, Generation whatever generation. And Ivan is right at the forefront. He's at the middle. Everybody loves him. He leads. He's with you in the trenches.
All right, so listen,
You know.
we're gonna go into rapid fire, and now we have to start with Ivan, which I was gonna start with Ivan anyway. So rapid fire means rapid fire. Tiene que contestar rápido. Me da una respuesta ahí que toma 2 minutos, ¿ok?
No.
Rápido, ¿ok?
2 segundos, papá.
Rápido,
Eso es rápido.
rápido,
Lo primero
rápido.
que viene a la mente.
And rapid is not rápido.
Ivan,
Rapid.
what's your favorite?
Rapid.
What's your favorite hobby?
My favorite hobby, computers.
Oh my god.
He studies computers on his spare time.
You love it, huh?
I do.
He does, bro. He does.
Oh my
It's
god, that was
extremely
perfect, Ivan, bro.
I'm
Thank you so
building
much
another
for that.
one.
You're building another one?
That was perfect. Out of block?
No.
Can you imagine?
But like
What, like a motherboard, like a computer?
Yeah.
Yo,
but
I know,
like
I
a
didn't
laptop
build-
or a PC?
No,
No, I-
PC, game PC.
Really?
Ivan,
Yeah.
yeah, he builds computers.
Oh, that's really cool. Oh man, I'm gonna put that down. All
I
right,
studied that for 3 years.
in the United States or Nicaragua?
Right here.
Oh wow. That's
That
awesome.
guy.
Foz, what's your
Is that, wait,
favorite?
hold on. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah,
Job
build a
site
computer.
office? Are you YouTubing?
Yo,
how to
rapid,
build a
this is
computer?
rapid
Sorry,
fire.
As long as it's
sorry.
foreman.
Always has such a tough
Sorry,
time with
no.
the rapid fire.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What's your favorite time of the day?
At nighttime.
The nighttime.
Yeah, I like the nighttime.
It's no longer the day. It's
We like the party. Yeah, bro. I'm a night out, bro. I'm a night out, bro. I'm a night out.
What do you like to do at night?
Yeah, dinner and a nightcap.
And a nightcap.
Dinner and a nightcap.
And an espresso martini.
And an espresso martini. Dinner and a nightcap with my girl.
Well, I was gonna ask you, what do you love most about your girl?
Bro, her patience with me and her ability to put up with me, bro. I'm not easy, bro.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm not easy. I'm not easy, bro. I'm not easy. She.
You're walking the park, bro.
Nah. She's been patient with me, bro. We've been together for a while. Ups and downs of the company, bringing that stress home. Her ability to put up with me and support me has meant a lot to me, bro. That's why we're together.
Oh, I'm about to start crying. What's your favorite hobby, Jose Luis?
Viajar.
Oh, travel.
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 That's an expensive hobby.
Yeah,
Yes.
Jose
Me
Luis.
encanta.
Jose Luis works a lot, but he just came back from Spain.
How was Spain?
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah. What was your favorite part of Spain?
Toledo.
That's not
Me
true,
encantó,
bro.
no, yeah,
It's
Toledo.
not true.
Toledo.
I bet you I know what the best part of Spain was for you more than you know what your best part of Spain.
¿Cuál fue?
Being with your mom.
Oh, no, por
Oh,
supuesto,
no,
por
no,
supuesto.
no. That was the
Oh,
best
yeah,
part of
pero
Spain
yo
for
estaba-
you. Yes,
But he
sir.
answered.
I was thinking like
The part of
the
Spain.
place, you know.
Oh, the place. Yeah.
Yeah, no, pero sí.
But you
mi
got to
mamá-
see your
mi mamá
mom.
Yo no la veía
Claro, bro.
desde el año 2017,
Wow.
desde que llegué a este país.
Wow.
Yo más nunca había visto a mi mamá, so, imagínate, y gran parte de mi familia, so, imagínate qué tiempo pasó antes de que yo pudiera verla de nuevo.
Yo. No, y pasó COVID. La vida cambió. Antes de COVID era una vida y ahora es otra. Eso no es fácil.
Let's refrain
Mucho
from eating
tiempo
ice in
sin
the
ver a
pod
mamá.
for the microphones not to pick up the ice.
Scratch
pero-
that, rewind, edit.
No, it's okay. He's gonna edit it.
I know we're in the middle of rapid fire, but how does it feel? The obvious thing is you've been talking Spanish the whole time, you know?
Mhm.
How does it feel coming from Cuba, where you're born? You studied in Cuba, no?
Yeah.
Studied engineering, and coming to the United States and like having to like adapt to, you know, to the United States here. I wasn't planning on asking that, but I was kind of curious now.
Yeah, the beginning was tough, right? Lo primero es que yo llegué aquí como asilado político. El proceso fue bien complicado.
You know you
Tú lo
talk. You know you
sabes.
talk. You know you talk English good. You speak English very well.
No.
You have an accent, but you know you speak English well. Just letting you know.
Okay.
But go ahead. You can talk Spanish.
And tell them about when you went to get your visa or your residency. What happened?
No, bro, that's crazy.
Tell them, bro. Tell them.
I
Mira,
was worried.
Jose, let me tell them. Jose asked for 5 days off. He
Yeah.
said, "Hey, I'm
was
gonna
great.
go. I'm gonna get my residency
I'll be
card.
back."
I'll be right back in 5 days." Jose calls me on the 4th day. "Hey, man, I don't know. I need a couple more days. Maybe next week. No problem." The next week came. "Hey, man, I don't know. They haven't called me. Maybe the next week." You were gone for 3 months. 3 months.
At Guyana.
And you were working every day
In Guyana.
while in Guyana waiting for your residency.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that, Jose. That's why you're
That's
here
so
with
welcome,
us.
man.
That's why you're here with us.
Did you ever?
That was a tough time
did
for
you-
everybody.
Did you think that we were going to? How did you think we were going to be receptive of that compared to how we were? What do you think that John Bell was going to do when you essentially couldn't come back into the United States for 3 months?
Pero imagínate. Lo primero es que yo agradezco a ustedes que hayan tenido esa paciencia conmigo. Y más que la paciencia, que hayan tenido o que me hayan dado la oportunidad de...
But did you think that we were going to be okay with that?
A ver, uno nunca puede dar por sentado de que va a estar bien o no va a estar bien. Yo siempre supe que ustedes me han demostrado, ustedes me han demostrado en el tiempo que están ahí para mí, para lo que yo necesite, tú sabes. Entonces, yo no sé.
That's true.
Yo no sabía qué iba a pasar. ¿Te das cuenta?
Yeah, it was a tough time.
Yeah, it was.
You missed your first. Wasn't your daughter's first birthday?
No, she was little.
You know, you missed Christmas,
The second.
the second birthday.
Her
Yep.
second birthday. And
Yep.
her first.
And
Christmas.
Sorry. No.
The first one?
No, what's the Christmas?
It was
It
her
was
first
Christmas.
Christmas.
It
Her
was her
first
first
Christmas.
New Year.
So he
everything.
went to renew your visa, right?
No, not renewed.
No,
Yo
yo,
to get
yo no
residency.
a ver, yo tuve que salir. Acuérdate, yo llegué aquí con asilo político. No tenía residencia. Yo estaba trabajando con ustedes con mi permiso de trabajo, sin residencia.
But
Siempre.
legally, you were working.
Sí, legalmente.
He was
legalmente.
working with us
Que conste.
legally.
Authorized.
Okay? Legally.
Que conste, que
Legally.
conste, que
Legally.
conste.
Okay.
Ya, lo que eventualmente por mi esposa yo tuve que hacer un ajuste de mi estatus en el país, de mi estatus migratorio. Entonces eso implicó que yo tuviera que salir al país a una entrevista en un consulado de los Estados Unidos en el exterior. Y lo que pasó simplemente fue de lo que yo pensé que era una entrevista de ok, ya todo está bien.
Pero
que
¿por qué tú
pasara
te
3 meses.
fuiste? ¿Por qué tú no
Porque
podías?
He had to go
No,
to
es-
two places.
es mandatorio.
¿Cuál eran tus opciones?
Ok,
O Guyana.
la primera opción que me dieron es Cuba.
Right.
Yo a Cuba no podía ir porque tengo political asylum, ahí yo no puedo ir. Entonces, mi abogada vio las otras opciones y una de ellas era Guyana.
Right.
¿Sabes? Por eso fui ahí.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Y lo que supuestamente iba a ser una semana se convirtió en literalmente 2 meses.
Como siempre.
¿Vale?
como
2
cualquier
meses.
I don't remember.
It was
I
like
was
3
little.
almost.
Yeah, it
Wow.
was-
Ah,
was-
2
How
meses.
how does it? Are you a citizen now?
No.
Or do you want to be a
En,
citizen?
permanent-
You want to be?
en 2 años.
You're a
wanna be a
permanent
citizen?
Of course.
Yeah. What do you think?
I love this country.
What do you mean? What do you think it will mean to you become a U.S. citizen?
Imagínate que este país me ha dado todo lo que yo tengo. Aparte de mi familia, ¿verdad? De mi familia anterior. Aquí yo he creado mi vida. Aquí yo he tenido a mi hija, he tenido a mi familia, a mi esposa. Tengo mi segunda familia que son ustedes. Este es mi trabajo. He progresado en mi trabajo con el tiempo. ¿Qué más yo puedo pedir? Es decir, yo puedo pedirle muchas cosas a la vida, pero lo que he tenido hasta hoy, es decir, ha sido más de lo que yo pensé tener en Cuba. Tú sabes. En toda la vida en Cuba. Lo he logrado en el tiempo que llevo viviendo aquí, que son 7 años, he logrado más que lo que yo logré en toda mi vida en Cuba. Independientemente que haya estudiado allí, que viví 30 años de mi vida en Cuba, ¿sabes?
Bueno, eso es en parte por nosotros, pero eso es por el esfuerzo tuyo. Al final del día es por el esfuerzo tuyo.
Yeah.
Claro, uno tiene que poner de su parte también.
No,
¿verdad?
100%.
100%
De
tiene
su
que
parte,
poner de su parte.
Ok.
Y uno llega tan lejos como uno quiera, es así, es la realidad. Pero también hay ciertas circunstancias exteriores a uno, como por ejemplo el lugar donde tú vives específicamente, que en Cuba yo no podía hacer absolutamente nada de lo que he hecho aquí.
Sí.
Estamos claros
Es
de eso,
referencia
¿verdad?
al país. Sí, yo te
Correcto.
entiendo. Sí.
Y bueno, aquí aquí tengo mi familia, este país me lo ha dado todo, absolutamente todo. Entonces,
This is the longest rapid
tú
fire.
sabes.
It's a good rapid fire, bro.
This is the longest rapid fire I had in my life.
Ya, no fue
Oh,
rapid
yeah.
fire.
So, what was your favorite hobby?
Viajar.
Oh, travel. Well, that went in a direction.
Oh, travel.
What's your favorite part of the day? You have to say it in English. What's your favorite part of the day?
The night as well.
The night? Oh my goodness, look at that.
The night.
Oh my goodness.
You want to say anything, Faust?
No, man, I just really want to thank you guys.
No, but I'm gonna say it.
No.
Yes. I really want to thank you guys for everything you guys do for us. And I genuinely wake up every day and it's an honor to work by both your sides. I know I'm not easy every day, but I thank you guys for putting up with me and for putting your best foot forward every day, okay?
You guys gonna make me cry.
We got your
Rapid fire.
Oscar.
That was beautiful, you guys. You guys said something
Beautiful, you guys did a
said
great
something
job.
beautiful. You haven't said anything beautiful yet.
I know. You
Um,
gotta say something beautiful.
Jazz, what do you think sets us apart?
Our,
Masonry.
our people. Our people. If everybody knew what they were gonna get from our people, if potential clients, partners, anybody knew the love that they were gonna get from our people, just what they put into their work every day, everybody would want to work with us. So our people set us apart. Yeah.
What's your favorite time of the day?
Lunchtime.
Me too, bro.
Lunchtime, bro.
That's the best time of the day. It's like the hump of the day.
Lunchtime.
The day's almost gone.
Yeah, lunchtime is a breath. Well, lunch at John Bell is a breath of fresh air. Kind of
Stops.
take a breath, recalibrate, get ready for the next part of the day. That's my favorite part of the day, I would say, if you ask me.
You love when people start heating up their lunches.
Yeah, when people start heating up their lunch, especially somebody
Cafecito time.
in the office named
Cafecito
Will.
time.
That always
Especially.
warms up something nice
Twice a
that
day.
the entire office can smell. It's a special.
Yo,
special
Will has
smell.
been warming up the smelliest food in the world, bro. He's been eating a skunk.
But that's how brave he is.
Yeah,
That's how brave he is. He doesn't mind. He doesn't mind what he.
He's the man of the office.
Well, honestly, like I said, I don't think that even if we're over an hour in, I don't think that if you were to watch us from the beginning to the end of our day, I don't think you would really understand and grasp truly how much we care about the masonry side of our business, how we do it, and I think we make it look easy, but we bring a lot of value to other GCs and to other owners, and we wouldn't be able to do it without you guys, and also we wouldn't have been able to do it with a lot of other people that still they're not with us today, that without them, we wouldn't have been where we're at. And I was thinking about it today when I was watering the grass, that even on the GC side, like as good as the team we have now, the teams that we've had like prior have been stepping stones into where we're at now.
Yeah. John Bell has always cultivated a culture of hard work, so we can't negate that. We can't put that aside in any way. I think everybody who has walked through those doors has worked extremely hard for the cause, for themselves. So we recognize it.
Well, that says something. That says a lot about them.
Yeah. Says it.
Survival of the fittest.
Correct. It speaks volumes.
Do you guys realize that? Like that you guys made it. I know it sounds crazy. We talk about it even on the GC side, but as a company, like it's hard to work here. Mm-hmm. Not everybody is cut out to work here. Mm-hmm. When you realize who's cut out to work with us, you realize how good of a team. You know, the problem is that sometimes there's people kind of like being shedded. You know, like we don't know that person, but I feel that everybody that we have now has passed every test that they can be, and now we're just like a machine.
And it's also a responsibility. Don't ever lose sight that you guys are leaders. And it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. You know, if you want to get to that point where we're building $100 million jobs and we're self-performing the masonry, can you lead somebody that is doing your job now? You know, we need to think about that. And we're prepared. I know that these guys are.
That's a great point.
I know that these guys are.
Those are conversations that we've had.
Yeah, I know
They know that for us to grow,
yeah,
they cannot stay in the same position.
And
they've adapted up to where we are today. So
But the same goes to us.
No, of course. Goes to us.
I think we just feel like...
But it's important for them to know, hey, if you want to do 5, 6, 7 jobs, we're going to have to bring in people for you to manage.
You lead an Ivan.
Same for you.
You lead a Jose Luis.
You're going to need a Jose Luis. You're going to need to lead 2 Ivans. You're going to need to lead 2 Jose Luises. So, you know.
I love it, though.
But that's how... That's like, even for me, like I feel like when we set out maybe a year and a half ago to really try to build our brand and try to push the limits, there's a price to pay. I don't think that the leaders we are now, the people we are now, are the same people we were a year and a half ago.
No, there's definitely a price to pay.
Right. Yeah.
There's definitely a price to pay and a sacrifice to make, 100%. And as the company gets older, and as quite frankly I get older, you know, that those are daily challenges. You know, how much of your life do you sacrifice for your profession or what is ultimately making you your money? You know.
Yeah, because like even like in the episode prior, Henry was talking about, like, you know, he almost lost his wife.
Yeah.
You know, he had a company. He couldn't do it. Like this. You know, he was talking about how there's a lot of times in the middle of the night you can't sleep. There's a lot of days that I can't sleep. Like, this industry consumes you, and not only does it consume you, because we talk about it in the first episode of the series with even Maria. This episode this industry changes you. Like, even if you want to, it forces you to change. The person that I was before is not the person I am now. This construction industry is a very tough industry.
It really does.
You know, think about people. They can't even renovate their house. They can't even renovate their bathroom. They can't even hire a pool guy. Freaking complete disaster. Think about the jobs that we do, the size and the scale in which you do it. We literally herd cats for a living, and I'll be honest with you, we love to do it. And you're going to keep learning about how we do it, and you're going to learn about the people that do it. And I hope you guys have been enjoying the series. There's a couple more episodes, and we really appreciate you guys following. Any way you can maybe follow, subscribe, share, like, watch it. Give us feedback. You know, it means a lot to us. We spend a lot of time and a lot of effort to put this content out, expose ourselves. Honestly, it's not for me, but it's for you. And I hope that you find benefit of it, and I hope you continue to watch and support us. We appreciate it. Catch you in the next one.